Hello everyone, welcome to another video for CFA Level 1. In today's video, we will be starting a fresh and new topic out of derivatives, and the name of the topic is pricing and valuation of futures. Okay, so till now in the last 2-3 classes, you have seen we have done pricing and valuation of derivatives, but those derivatives were specifically forwards. Okay, so we have already done it in the introductory class of derivatives. I'll just reiterate again for our benefit. We all know derivatives. There are 4 primary types of derivatives. So I hope you remember we have 4 primary types of derivatives: forwards, futures, options, and swaps. Okay. So what we have done in our classes, we have covered some basics about options. Okay. We have covered some basics about forwards, and we have covered some basics about futures. Okay. Swaps is completely untouched. What we will do is that once we have developed some base on this, we will take the entire concept of swaps, which is there for you in the level 1, together. Okay. Also, when we were doing the introduction of derivatives, we have seen forwards and futures are somewhat similar in nature. The primary difference is forwards are over the counter derivatives, OTC, over the counter derivatives, and futures are standardized or exchange driven. Standardized or exchange driven derivative. Okay. Now, at this point of time, I will not go into the fact that what is OTC, what is standardized exchange driven. If you need to understand that, I would suggest please go to that video and watch it. Okay. Having said that, now we have already done the forwards pricing and valuation. Today we will do future pricing and valuation. Okay. Now this is an important thing for you to understand. In our CFA curriculum, okay, there is as such no formula given. Okay, there is no formula given for pricing and valuation of futures. Okay, so let me write it down. There is no separate formula for pricing and valuation of derivative. Okay, of futures. Okay, no separate thing is given. What is the essence of this concept in level 1 is that there is a comparison and contrast between future and forward pricing and valuation. Okay. So as such, we all know, we have already seen there is a formula given for the pricing of forwards. There is a formula and concept given for valuation of forwards, right? We have all done it. We have solved their questions. We have done the concept. We have seen the formula. But for pricing and valuation of future, there is no such formula given. Why there is no such formula given? What is the logic behind it? Because as a student, I need to always answer logics. Okay, as to why something is happening and to why something is not happening. Okay, I need to answer to that. Why there is no such formula? Because pricing and because forwards and futures are similar kind of instruments. They just vary on the basis of how they trade, right? That is why there is no point of studying the separate pricing and valuation of futures. Only as a student, only as a conceptual understanding, I need to understand how they are different. Okay, and don't worry, we will see it through the example, help of an example. Don't worry, okay. So let us see. We will compare and contrast the valuation and price of future and forward. In forwards, the price is constant. Yes. Suppose For forwards, we have seen there are three timeline available. For forward, we know there is three timeline available. One, initiation. Second, the last one, expiry. And in the mid, we have during the period of contract. Correct, guys? These are the three. But when we enter into a forward contract, when is the pricing decided? The pricing is always decided at the initiation. Pricing is always decided at this point. Yes or no, guys? Do you agree with me? Pricing is always decided at the point of initiation. Once the pricing is fixed, is it changing during the contract? The example that we took about the gold was the forward price of $105. Was it changing during the period of the contract? No. So decided at this point remains fixed. During life of the contract, since the pricing is fixed, now we will understand an important catchphrase. Since the pricing is fixed, what it results into? Since pricing is fixed, since pricing is fixed, the value of forward varies during the point of contract. Correct. We have seen ft minus f0. We have seen that since pricing is fixed, value of forward contracts change. Value of forward contract changes. Correct. We know this. So let us see over here what we are written. Pricing is constant. Yes. Second, value is fluctuating. Yes. Based on the changes in the value of underlying. Since pricing is fixed, the valuation is changing. Now the interesting aspects come for futures. In future, now the interesting aspect of future. In future, now what happens in future? Pricing is determined determined at initiation. Determined at initiation. Okay. At this point, we are same. At this point, forwards and futures are same. But now here's the twist. It changes daily and not fixed. So when you enter into future contract, the future price will change daily. Okay, and that daily change in price is known as mark to market. So this is the contrast between forwards and futures. In forwards, we have decided the price of the forward contract at the initiation that will remain the same during the period of the contract. In future, We have although decided the price at the initiation, but every day basis it will change, and that change or that change every day is known as mark to market. Guys, are we clear? Guys, are we clear what is mark to market? Because of this mark to market, because of this mark to market, because of this mark to market, the value at end of each day is zero. This is a very interesting aspect because the prices are changing daily. Okay, the value at the end will be zero. Why? See, you have to understand. Initially, the price was closed at F0. Okay, after some point, the price became FT. But in futures, what we are doing, this F0 is also becoming FT. Okay, so when we determine the value, what do? We do Ft minus F0, but this F0 itself becomes Ft. So it is value is equals to Ft minus Ft, which is 0. Because the pricing is changing every day, the value is always 0 after the price change. Guys, are we clear? Guys, are we able to understand how future and forwards are different in terms of pricing and valuation? In forwards, the pricing is fixed and determined at initiation. Every day in future, the price changes and thus the value always remains 0. Let us see and read over here. Price and value both fluctuate on daily basis and gain and loss are settled. What is this? Now this is important to understand. What is gain and loss settlement? We will take an example, don't worry. Thus, at the end of each day, future price is set to the settlement price and thus value is set to 0. So, value will always be 0. Guys, are we understanding? Now, let us understand what is this future price and what is this gain and loss. Okay. Let us take an example so that we understand it better. Let us take an example so that we understand it better. Okay. We are drawing two lines. Add to. Okay. Not like. Let us first write the example and then let us solve it separately. Okay. Mr. A enters into a forward slash future transaction, future contract. Why slash? Because we will solve it both ways to understand how, even though the net result is same, but their valuation and pricing differs. Okay. Mr. A enters into a forward slash future contract on gold for 7 days. Okay. Spot prices for 7 days are 100, 102, 101, 105, 103, 107 and 109. Okay. Forward prices are 102, 103, 105 104, 108, 107 and 109. See, you will see one thing over here when we are taking this example. On the 7th day, the spot and forward slash future prices are same. Why? We have seen this. Why they are same? Because at expiry, spot is equals to forward. We have already seen this. Yes or no, guys? At expiry, spot is equals to forward or future. Okay. Now the question is show. Wait for it. Okay. The price set at initiation was 101 and 1000 contracts were entered into. Okay. Show profit and loss. Okay. Under both forward and future. See what we have done. We have created a question. We have created an example where a person enters into a forward and the same person enters into a future. Spot prices are given, forward and future prices are given. Okay. We need to understand how the person will arrive or achieve the same result. Okay, with forward and future, but the mechanism will be different. Okay, guys, are we clear? Fair enough. So, what do we do? Let us draw a demarcation. Okay, this will be for forwards and this will be for future. Okay, at day one, I entered into the contract. Okay, I had an entry into the contract. Entry at 101 for 1000 contracts. In future, day one, entry at 101 for 1000 contracts. Okay. At the end of day one, what is the price? The price, are we bothered over here in both the case between forward and future? Are we bothered about the spot price movement? Given that we are already having forwards and future prices, are we even bothered about spot price movement? No, I'm not bothered. Spot price movement will bother me only when in the question I am not given with the forward prices and I have to calculate the forward price. Then only I will be bothered with the spot rates. Guys, are we clear? Guys, are we clear? So, since in the question we are clearly given the forward and for future prices, I'm not bothered with the spot rates. Okay. End of the day value is equals to 102. Correct? Value is 102. Price is the same. Price is 101. Okay. Profit slash loss is nil. Okay. Over here, end of day, value, we will see price has become 102. Why? Because in futures we have daily price movement. What is profit? Profit is 102 minus 101 into 1000, which is nothing but 1000. Okay. So what is value? Value is 0 over here. Or to relate it better, the value is nil. Over here, what is value? It is 102 minus 101 into 1000. Guys, are we understanding? So profit is 1000. Now, day 2, we have day 2. Over here, price at beginning is equals to 101. Now the trick comes over here. In day 2, in case of future, price at beginning is not 101. Price at beginning is 102. Okay, so the price itself is changing. So again, end of day, what is the value? The value is 103 now. So it is 103 minus 101 into 1000. Correct? Price is same, 101. Profit loss is same, which is nil. In day 2, okay, end of day, my value is always set to nil at the end of the day. My price is now 103 and my profit is 103 minus 102 into 1000, which is nothing but 1000. Guys, in day 3, price at beginning, what is the price at beginning? It will be 101. But again in forwards, in futures, day 3, price at beginning will be 103. Guys, are we understanding? What will be the value? Value is 105 now. So 105 minus 101 into 1000. Price is same at 101. Profit is nil. In future, value is set as nil. Price is 105 now and profit is 105 minus 103 into 1000, which is 2000. Okay. Now we move to day 4. Price at beginning again locked at 101, but for future, price at beginning now moves to 105. Okay. Value day 4, what is the value? 104. So day 4, 104 minus 101 into 1000. Okay. Price again at 101. Profit is nil. Okay. Value Again, here it will be nil. Price will be 104. So there will be a loss. Okay. What will be loss? 104 minus 105 into 1000. See, now this is also important to understand. Till day 1, day 2, day 3. Okay. You guys must be under the impression. You guys must be under the impression that a simple addition of my future is becoming the value for my forward. But over here, you need to understand. Over here, what did we do? We simply did 104 minus 101. Why? Because in forward, we are not bothered with respect to the value the forward contract had in the previous day. Every day is a new beginning for us. But in future, I am bothered about the value that the future had, value or the price, because value is zero over here. The price that future had in the previous day. Okay. Day 5 value will be 108, 108 minus 101. Over here, profit will be 108 minus 104 into 1000, which is 4000. Okay. Similarly, day 6 value will be 107, 107 minus 101. Over here in day 6, there will be a loss of 107 minus 108 into 1000, which is minus 1000. And finally, in day 7, now a important thing to understand. In day 7, at the end of day 7, there will be no value either in the forward contract or in the future contract. Now everything will turn into profit or loss. So finally, for day 7, final profit or loss of the contract will be 109. 109 minus 101 into 1000, which is simply 8000. Okay. What will be for future? Since we are doing daily profit and loss, its daily profit will be 109 minus 107 into 1000, which is 2000. Now here is the trick. In order to arrive at this profit of 8000, we have to add the daily profit and loss of all the days for the future. So what we need to do? We need to do 1000 plus 1000 for day 2, which is 2000, plus 2000 for day 3, which is 4000, minus 1000, which is 3000, then 4000, which is 7000, then we have to do minus 1000, which is 6000, and then we will have to add 2000, which is 8000. So in forward, the profit and loss that you will get is a one-time profit and loss at the end of the contract, when the contract is to expire. In future, you will get profit and loss on a daily basis. But when you add all the profit and losses of every day, the final number that you will have will equate to the forward, will equate to the profit and loss that your forward contract is giving at the end of the day. Guys, are we understanding? This 8000 is nothing but sum of profit and losses of 7 days for future. But you see, although our final destination is same for forwards and future, but the mechanism in which their pricing is operating, the mechanism in which their valuation is done, the mechanism of profit and losses are different. Guys, are we understanding this? Okay, so I hope we have understood this. There is one more caveat that I wanted to discuss. in all the concepts related to derivative that we have studied till now, whether options, whether forwards or whether futures, the underlying that we have discussed is an asset. Okay. But if you remember my derivative class, the underlying could be a interest rate as well. Okay. So in your CFA curriculum, there are two broad topics in which derivatives is studied. One, when your underlying is an asset. Second, when your underlying is an interest rate. So there are forward contracts on interest rates as well. There are forward contracts on futures. There are future contracts on interest rate as well. There are interest rate options as well. So interest rate derivative as the entire concept we have not touched. So as soon as we get into interest rate based forward contracts, interest rate based future contracts, some of these concepts will change or some of these concepts will evolve. So guys, keep in mind whatever we have studied till now is with respect to an asset class and not an interest rate. Okay. So guys, this was today's time. I hope you were able to understand and appreciate how pricing and valuation of futures are different from that of forwards and how the entire mechanism is working. So in the next class, we will again meet up with a new topic and I hope your studies are going well. Till then, thank you and goodbye.